encouraged to adjust ticket prices to normal levels. Well, are Malaysians encouraged to increase spending? Good evening. Thanks for choosing News at 10 with me, Renee Fong. Malaysia recorded 5 new COVID-19 cases today, bringing the total number of infections to 8,648. Health Director General Datuk Dr. Nur Hisham Abdullah at the Ministry's COVID-19 press conference said that 2 of the 5 cases were local transmissions. He said both cases were Malaysians and were detected from a screening at Queen Elizabeth Hospital in Kota Kinabalu, Sabah. The other 3 were imported cases involving Malaysians returning from Qatar, Turkey and Oman.
Adalah dimaklumkan bahawa tiada pertambahan kes kematian berkaitan COVID-19 dilaporkan pada hari ini. Justru jumlah kumulatif kes kematian COVID-19 di Malaysia adalah kekal sebanyak 121 kes, iaitu bersamaan dengan 1.39% daripada jumlah keseluruhan kes.
This is the 19th day in a row where no deaths are recorded. Datuk Dr. Nur Hisham also said 9 more cases have been discharged, meaning 8,446 patients have recovered from COVID-19 in Malaysia since the outbreak began. This translates to a recovery rate of 97.66% out of the total number of cases in the country. The number of active cases is now down to 81. Currently, there are 2 people treated at intensive care units, ICU, of which both patients are on ventilator support. Flight ticket prices need to return to its original prices before the Movement Control Order MCO was enforced. Senior Minister Security Datuk Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob said the Transport Ministry and the Malaysian Aviation Commission MAVCOM have been tasked to discuss the airline companies to return air ticket prices back to normal. Briefing reporters today, he said the decision was taken during the special ministerial meeting that coordinates the implementation of the MCO, as they were aware of the high domestic ticket prices between Peninsular Malaysia and Sabah and Sarawak. Previously, air ticket prices were high as airline companies could not accept full seating capacity due to social distancing measures with a maximum passenger capacity of 66%. However, airline companies are now allowed to operate at full capacity without social distancing measures.
Mesyuarat berpendapat bahawa harga tiket perlu kembali ke harga asal sebelum PKP dilaksanakan. Kerana tidak ada alasan lagi yang mengatakan mereka kurang kapasiti penumpang, kerana kita telah membenarkan kapasiti penuh.
Datuk Sri Ismail Sabri urged airline companies to return their ticket prices to normal levels, especially for students, teachers and higher education institute students who will be resuming their studies. He also called on MAVCOM to discuss with airline companies to offer special ticket prices to students, teachers and also students in the higher education institutions, as these students will need to attend universities or schools either back in Sabah and Sarawak or in the Peninsula. On another note, Datuk Sri Ismail Sabri called on the voters in the Chinese State constituency to exercise their rights by going out to cast their votes in tomorrow's by-election, although they will be subjected to the strict Standard Operating Procedure (SOP). The Senior Minister advised all voters to adhere to the new normal, as the by-election would be the first ever to be held during the Recovery Movement Control Order (RMCO) period following the COVID-19 pandemic.
Di luar juga disaran untuk pulang ke kampung halaman mereka bagi menunaikan tanggungjawab ini. Akan tetapi, dalam norma baru, penjarakan sosial serta pemakaian pelitup muka perlu dijadikan amalan apabila membuang undi, terutamanya di kawasan yang sesak.
Datuk Sri Ismail Sabri added that the SOP outlined by the Election Commission must be adhered to in order to safeguard everyone's health and security. There are 20,990 voters in the Chini constituency, comprising 20,972 normal voters and 18 early voters. Meanwhile, the senior minister said Sabah did not have prior discussions with the federal government over its decision to allow workers from China to enter the state. According to Datuk Sri Ismail Sabri, the matter was never brought up for discussion at the special ministerial meeting.
Dari segi kita di peringkat MKN, di peringkat persekutuan, di bawah Akta 342 ini, kita masih lagi menutup pintu negara kita kepada warga asing untuk masuk ke negara kita. Terutamanya kalau ianya melibatkan pelancong. Begitu juga dengan pekerja-pekerja. Pekerja-pekerja EP1 saja yang kita benarkan. Pekerja EP1 perlu mendapat buat swab test di negara mereka, swab test di sini, dan jika negatif, mereka bolehlah dibenarkan masuk. Tetapi untuk pekerja-pekerja, saya tak tahu ni pekerja-pekerja apa yang dimaksudkan, ya. Pekerja lain masih tidak dibenarkan.
The senior minister noted that the government still considered China a high-risk nation, although it is a large country. He added that in the National Security Council, they are now discussing whether they could categorize certain parts of China as safe zone. Datuk Sri Ismail Sabri was commenting on the Sabah government's decision on Wednesday to allow foreign workers from China to enter the state by complying with all regulations set out under the Recovery Movement Control Order. The COVID-19 crisis has served as a wake-up call for all in the global community and a pandemic further compounded the effects of conflicts and poverty to economic instability and climate change. Foreign Minister Datuk Sri Hishamuddin Tun Hussein said the world will be worse off should they all not be addressed collectively in the spirit of mutual trust and confidence. Datuk Sri Hishamuddin said Malaysia stands ready to play its part, and today's deliberations and discussions will pave the way for a stronger partnership between Malaysia and the United Nations to jointly address common challenges in fighting COVID-19. Calling for an equitable COVID-19 vaccine, the minister said Malaysia believes that the manufacturing of the vaccine must promote international collaboration rather than nationalistic competition.
In facing a pandemic of this scale, really no nation can face it alone, as the world is only as strong as our weakest health system. Yes, I do believe the international community could have done better, but this does not mean that we have done nothing.
Datuk Sri Hishamuddin was speaking at a virtual gathering of the UN 75 National Conversation, The Future We Want and the UN We Need, from Putrajaya today. As a display of Malaysia's commitment and firm conviction in advancing global peace, security and prosperity, Datuk Sri Hishamuddin said Malaysia led an initiative to launch a statement of support to the UN Secretary-General's appeal for a global ceasefire amid the COVID-19 pandemic, which now enjoys the support of 172 member states, non-member observer states and observers. On the UN's front, he said much more work needs to be done and stepped up to further promote international cooperation and teamwork in fighting COVID-19. Foreigners are still not allowed to take part in congregational prayers in mosques and surau. Minister in the Prime Minister's Department Religious Affairs, Datuk Sri Dr. Zulkifli Muhammad Al-Bakri, said the ministry has to study reports from the authorities, such as the Federal Territories Islamic Religious Department Jawi, on the situation in mosques and surau before allowing foreigners to participate in congregational prayers. Datuk Sri Dr. Zulkifli said the matter may be solved in a month or two. In a statement earlier today, he said Friday prayers during the Recovery Movement Control Order (RMCO) has been expanded to surau and halls deemed suitable for the purpose. He said that mosques and surau permitted to hold Friday prayers are also allowed to maximize the use of their areas while ensuring compliance with the latest standard operating procedures set by the Ministry of Health and the National Security Council. Gabungan Parti Sarawak GPS says it is ready to face Sarawak state election anytime. However, according to its parliamentary chief whip Datuk Seri Fadilah Yusof, the date is still up to Chief Minister Datuk Patinggi Abang Johari Tun Openg to decide. As such, he said the focus now will be to serve the people and work with the federal government to fight the COVID-19 pandemic.
Di Sarawak untuk GPS, kita bekerja bukan untuk pilihan raya. Kita bekerja sepanjang masa. Jadi di umum saja kita sentiasa bersedia. Sebab kita berkhidmat untuk rakyat dan negeri kita tanpa mengira election.
Meanwhile, commenting on the motion to terminate Tan Sri Muhammad Arif Mat Yusof as the Dewan Rakyat Speaker and his deputy Nga Kor Ming from his post, Datuk Sri Fadilah said the government unanimously agreed to choose the right and well-qualified candidate. The motion was moved by Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin in accordance with common practice as stipulated under the Federal Constitution and the Dewan Rakyat Standing Orders. The Communications and Multimedia Ministry has appointed the Multimedia University MMU to conduct research on anti-cyber bullying laws. Its Minister Datuk Saifuddin Abdullah said the research is necessary as cyberbullying cases in Malaysia had recently increased, leading to suicide cases.
Kita melantik MMU untuk menjalankan penyelidikan berkaitan dengan undang-undang anti-cyberbully. Kita ada undang-undang yang berkaitan dengan dunia cyber, tetapi kita belum ada undang-undang yang khusus tentang cyberbullying.
Datuk Saifuddin said the research is expected to be completed within 6 months. He said the research will involve studies whether Malaysia needs a special act related to cyberbullying as implemented in Singapore, the Philippines and some developed countries, as well as looking at the implementation of anti-cyber laws in other countries. He said it would involve consultations with stakeholders including the Attorney General's Chambers, the Communications and Multimedia Commission, Cybersecurity Malaysia and the Bar Council. A high-ranking Johor Immigration Department officer has been arrested on suspicion of involvement in migrant smuggling activities. The 50-year-old woman who is an assistant director in the Immigration Department was arrested 2 days ago in Johor. Johor Police Chief Dato' Ayub Khan Maidin Pichai said the arrest was made based on information obtained after questioning 3 other immigration officers who were detained on 23rd June. He said the woman is the latest suspect in a people smuggling network. He explained that the modus operandi used by the group was by using fake immigration stamps to enable Indonesians with expired social visit passes to be smuggled out of the country during the movement control order period. He said the woman will be investigated under Section 26A of the Anti-Trafficking in Persons and Anti-Smuggling of Migrants Act ATIPSOM 2007 through investigation procedures under the Security Offences Special Measures Act SOSMA 2012.
Tapi saya ingin tegaskan tuan-tuan, Polis Johor tuan-tuan, kita tidak mengira status. Kita tidak mengira daripada mana pegawai atau anggota ini bertugas, sama ada daripada pihak polis, ATM, immigration, FMM, marine dan sebagainya tuan-tuan. Kalau terlibat tuan-tuan, yang pasti kita akan tangkap tanpa mengira kedudukan mereka tuan-tuan.
To date, police have arrested 23 enforcement personnel, including from the Police Force, Immigration Department and Armed Forces. They are suspected of involvement in migrant smuggling activities along the eastern coast of Johor. Coming up, Cloud Alpha services to further support national digital economy aspirations. Well-off Malaysians are encouraged to increase their expenditure and go on holidays at local destinations to help boost the nation's economic growth and local tourism industry. Following the reopening of the economic sectors, Finance Minister Tengku Datuk Seri Zafrul Tengku Abdul Aziz said collaboration from every quarter could help improve the country's economy, which is entering its recovery phase.
Sehubungan dengan itu, saya ingin menyarankan kepada mereka yang masih mempunyai pekerjaan dan kemampuan untuk mula keluar, membeli belah, menyokong peniaga-peniaga dan syarikat tempatan serta melancong di dalam negeri. Dengan SOP yang sedia ada dan disiplin penjagaan kesihatan diri untuk pelbagai aktiviti, kita perlu yakinlah untuk berbuat demikian.
The 12 Malaysia plan is set to be tabled in the Parliament in January next year. Minister in the Prime Minister's Department, Datuk Seri Mustafa Muhammad, said this is to enable the government to undertake a review following the impacts on global economy brought on by COVID-19 pandemic.
Perubahan COVID sudah pasti, lanskap ekonomi sudah berubah dengan mendadak. Ya. Kita perlu ambil kira cara kita bekerja, ya. Bisnes pun sudah berubah, digital penting, ya. Ini antara perkara yang lanskap ekonomi sudah berubah dengan ketara dan ini harus diambil perhatian. Itu antara sebab kenapa perlu dilihat semula rancangan Malaysia ke-12.
Previously, in an interview with the World Bank, Datuk Seri Mustafa said the 12 Malaysian plan that was scheduled to be tabled on 6 August had to be postponed. He said this despite the development of the plan was nearly completed. Commenting on 2020 budget, Datuk Seri Mustafa said about 40% of the 60 billion ringgit allocation have been used. The Ministry of Housing and Local Government aims to have at least 6 waste-to-energy WTE plants to be built nationwide by 2021. Its Minister Zuraida Kamaruddin said the WTE system is cleaner, more productive and economical than conventional landfill that requires a large area of land. As such, the ministry hoped that every state will have one WTE plant as it does not need a large space or land area which can be very costly.
Semua syarikat yang berminat, dia tulis surat dan kita kena buat technical review. So technical team ni yang termasuk pakar daripada academician dan semua sebagainya mendengarkan technical review mereka dan mereka akan dapat kelulusan. Bila dapat kelulusan dan orang-orang ini akan layak untuk mengambil bahagian dalam RFP tender kita nanti.
Speaking to reporters after visiting the Sungai Udang landfill, which will be transformed to adopt the WTE system, Zuraida also said the tender for the Sungai Udang project will open in September. She said the pilot WTE plant project at the Sungai Udang landfill will then be followed by the implementation of the same system at the landfills in Bukit Payung, Terengganu, Silong, Johor, Samling, Selangor and Jabor, Pahang. For the record, the Melaka government had reportedly planned to build a 3.6 million ringgit WTE plant on a 3.84 hectare site to address the problem of waste disposal in the state. The WTE facility is expected to receive 1,000 tons of solid waste daily and is capable of producing up to 25 megawatt of green energy to provide electricity to 25,000 households around the area. The importance of digital transformation is very evident, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic. Thus, Telekom Malaysia Berhad TM, in collaboration with Huawei Technologies Malaysia Sdn Berhad, has introduced TM1 Cloud A, Cloud Alpha services, which offer cloud, artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, cloud operations, and cloud AI infrastructure. As the challenges associated with COVID-19 and the implementation of MCO unfolds, Deputy Communications and Multimedia Minister Datuk Zahidi Zainul Abidin said it is an undeniable fact that digital technology has taken the centre stage to support the government's aspirations of industry transformation and further drive the country's economy. According to him, the Cloud Alpha initiative will further support the government's digital economy aspirations to offer digital services and solutions to the nations, especially during these trying times.
Cloud also facilitate the sharing of data, which is a crucial point that enables Health Authority to make the right analysis to curb the spread of the pandemic. Cloud-based collaboration tools and application also enables nations to stay connected and enterprises to stay in business. In fact, cloud has also enabled the government to provide a seamless experience and service for the rakyat.
Speaking to reporters at the Memorandum of Agreement signing ceremony between TM1 and Huawei today, he said Malaysia will now focus on economic growth and towards reaping the full benefits of the Industrial Revolution 4.0. Therefore, he added that today's MOA is a step in the right direction. Kelantan Football Association KAFA Vice President Datuk Muhammad Rowi Dollah has resigned from his post effective 1st July. This comes in the wake of KAFA President Datuk Wan Abdul Rahim Wan Abdullah and his deputy Datuk Sri Afandi Hamzah being temporarily sidelined from managing the association, which is plagued by financial and debt issues on 28th June. Datuk Muhammad Rowi said he had submitted his letter of resignation to the KAFA leadership for the 2019-2023 term. Speaking to reporters to confirm having sent his resignation letter, which went viral online, Datuk Muhammad Rowi said he is unable to give full commitment to managing KAFA after looking at the current situation, especially in terms of time constraint, as he is a businessman. As a vice president, he said he also cannot help KAFA get financial sponsorship to manage the association and the team. Meanwhile, KAFA's Secretary General confirmed receiving Datuk Muhammad Rowi's resignation letter, adding that KAFA will discuss it at a meeting in the near future.
Kita tidak nak mengikat beliau dalam tempoh tertentu, tetapi kita beri ruang dan masuk untuk beliau melaksanakan tugas.
News at 10. In our top story, airlines urge to adjust ticket prices to normal levels. Join us again at 12:30 tomorrow afternoon for more global updates. I'm Renee Fong. Stay tuned to Saluran Berita RTM and good night.